everyone!
Hey there, beautiful people. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Welcome to the show and TGIF. Let's make today unforgettable with good vibes, inspiration, information, and the best company.
I'm Robert Tan, glad to be here, always on top with the news that you can use right now.
And happy Friday! Yay! I'm Jess Ordoñez, and join us in the next hour and a half for stories and conversations that matter.
Woo! Finally, it's Friday!
Happy Friday!
Oh my goodness!
Thank God it's Friday. Good morning, Anne.
Congratulations! We made it to the end of the
Yes.
week. Oh my goodness.
Can rest now over the weekend.
I know! How has the last 2 days been for you?
Yeah, it's okay. Waking up at
I think Robert
4.
is used to waking up very
Yeah.
early.
Very early,
Yeah.
yeah,
How
that's
about you,
true.
Jess?
No? Are you a morning person?
I am not a morning
No?
person.
You, Anne, are you
I
a
wake
morning
up
person?
at 11.
I am a morning
Me, I'm a
person.
morning person.
Yes.
This is
yes.
why she's like the happiest every morning, and we're just like, hi, good morning.
I've gotten used to, like giving all that energy in the morning, but waking up at 4 a.m., hindi pa rin ako sanay even until now. It's just crazy. I'm a morning person, but I draw the line at 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
Beyond 5 a.m., parang, that's asking for too much from my body.
But you are a morning serotonin boost every morning.
Thank you. You know what? I'm excited for today's show because we got a beauty queen who's joining us. And kanina nga, busy na nagpapapicture na lahat ng tao here in the studio with our guest this morning. And you know what? She stumbled during the pageant, right? She stumbled, but she got back up with so much grace, and she didn't let that stop her from winning the crown.
Yeah.
And she was able to use that moment for her question and answer as well,
Yes,
right?
that's
like linking
right.
it to how she fell, and this is how she gets up too in real life situations. So
That's
it was very inspiring.
Yeah, it's very inspiring for everybody. When you fall, getting back up.
Yes.
Getting back up and winning. Imagine that. That's a really very inspirational moment for everyone.
That's true.
Even how many times you fall, you just have to get back up. Get back
And
up
you know
on
what?
the
That's
horse.
not an easy feat. Sometimes when we have obstacles in life, we feel discouraged,
Yes.
right? And sometimes parang ayaw na natin i-try, but you just really have to keep on fighting. And that thing, that feeling that you have just to make yourself keep on fighting, that in itself is just really, really brave.
Well, when you look back on your embarrassing moments from your life, it just makes you stronger.
That's true. That's true.
I heard who's this actor, Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
And they were saying, he never gets embarrassed anymore because he was at the bottom of his life before. He said nothing will embarrass him anymore.
Just like Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
Diba?
Exactly.
Right?
Prime
He was at the
example.
bottom of his career, and then he
And
rose
now he's
up
at the
and
top of his game now.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So make sure that you join us for the next hour and a half because we got a really exciting show for you guys today. But first, let us serve you some news that you can use this morning. We start with our traffic update. Let's check the situation on major roads at this hour. Here is the situation along EDSA Quezon Avenue flyover. On the left side of your screens are vehicles going to Quiapo. You will be stepping on the brakes if you are on that area, if that's your destination, your route this morning. We are seeing moderate to heavy traffic already building up on that stretch. On the opposite lane, the right side, are vehicles headed to the Quezon Memorial Circle. Light traffic as of this hour. Now this time, let's take a look at EDSA White Plains. Ooh, busy. On the left side of your screens, those are the vehicles going to Shaw Boulevard. So if you're headed southbound, you will be slowing things down. Moderate to heavy traffic already on that area. On the right side are for vehicles going to Cubao. Light traffic, no problem yet as of this hour. Now, heads up to motorists. The expanded vehicle number coding scheme is in full swing. It's a Friday, guys. Vehicles with license plates ending in 9 and 0 should be off the road right about now until 10 a.m. and again later from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
On to some serious business. Some cabinet secretaries have complied with President Bongbong Marcos' order to submit courtesy resignations. This includes DOTR Secretary Vince Dizon, DSWD Secretary Rex Gatchalian, DILG Chief John Vic Remulla, Justice Secretary Boying Remulla, Tourism Secretary Cristina Frasco, Budget Secretary Amena Pangandaman, Finance Chief Ralph Recto, Solicitor General Menardo, DMW Secretary Hans Leo Kakdak, DICT Secretary Henry Aguda, and PCO Chief Jay Ruiz. The palace says this is to recalibrate the cabinet officials after a lackluster performance of his bets in the midterm elections.
The people have spoken and they have expect results. Not politics, not excuses. We hear them and we will act. The request for courtesy resignations is aimed at giving the President the elbow room to evaluate the performance of each department and determine who will continue to serve in line with his administration's recalibrated priorities. Mananatili sila sa kanilang posisyon. Siguro ito yung tamang panahon para ipakita nila na dapat sila manatili sa kanilang posisyon. Pero kapag nakita po talaga ng Pangulo na hindi mo deserve ang iyong posisyon, you will be out.
After President Marcos's shocking call, the guessing game is on. Which cabinet members will stay and those who could be let go? Bilyonaryo.com reports 5 cabinet members are slated for termination. They include Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, Agriculture Secretary Francisco Tiu Laurel, and Health Secretary Ted Herbosa. Labor Secretary Bienvenido Laguesma and Special Assistant to the President Anton Lagdameo are also reportedly on the chopping block. Lagdameo, a close friend of the President, allegedly has a tense relationship with First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos. Politico.com adds that Bersamin is facing allegations of corruption and mismanagement in his office. Political analysts had said public frustrations over health, food, and jobs could have contributed to the surprising results in the senatorial race. But it remains unclear why Tiu Laurel, Herbosa, and Laguesma are being considered for removal.
3 cabinet officials have their confirmation hearings on hold as President Marcos asks for the courtesy resignations of all appointees. The ICT Secretary Henry Aguda, Transportation Chief Vince Dizon, and Presidential Communications Office Secretary Jay Ruiz were scheduled to have their confirmation hearings on June 3. Secretary Dizon, one of the first officials to submit their courtesy resignation, says he fully supports the message President Marcos is sending.
Nakatanggap din po kami ng official na memorandum galing sa ating mahal na Executive Secretary informing us of the directive po na magsumite ng courtesy resignation. So, yun po ang ginawa natin at naiintindihan po natin ang direktiba ng Pangulo dahil nakita nga po natin siya nung siya in-interview nung Lunes at sinabi niya na kailangan talagang siguraduhin natin na lahat ng kawani ng gobyerno nagtatrabaho po para sa tao at itabi na po ang iba pang mga bagay tulad ng politika at iba po pong bagay. So, sinusuportahan po natin itong napakalakas na mensahe ng ating Pangulo sa lahat ng kawani ng gobyerno na focus na muna tayo sa tao. Kaya tayo nagsumiti po kagad nung ating courtesy resignation following the orders of the President.
The Senate is expected to convene as an impeachment court for the trial of Vice President Sara Duterte on June 3, following the reception of House prosecutors a day before. On June 2, the House prosecutor panel will present and read the 7 charges against VP Sara, which include alleged culpable violation of the Constitution and graft and corruption. At 9 a.m. the following day, the Senate will convene as an impeachment court, where it will issue the summons and other pertinent orders. Longtime Duterte ally Senator Bato de la Rosa believes they will get the required number of votes among the senators to acquit the vice president.
Basta as of now, I am confident na more than 9 yung makuhang boto dyan.
Senator Bato de la Rosa finds no sincerity in PBBM's reconciliation intents. That statement, as the former PNP chief believes there are international criminal court investigators in the Philippines Bato says these supposed investigators are in a hotel in Pasay City collecting affidavits from retired police officers to prop up FPRRD's ICC case.
Walang sinseridad yan kung gano'n. Ang pinakaunang gawin ni Pangulong Marcos dapat, palayasin niya yan, i-deport niya yung mga ICC investigators na yan na andito ngayon, na nananakot sa ating mga kapulisan na mag-testigo.
Several candidates have filed electoral protests at the COMELEC over the results of the midterm polls. San Fernando, Pampanga mayoral candidate Mylene Pineda is seeking a manual recount. Her team says they are baffled that they were unable to win a single precinct in San Fernando despite being one of the province's most influential clans. Former Cebu City Mayor Mike Rama also filed a protest because pre-election surveys show him as the winner and noting that he is an ally of Vice President Sara Duterte.
Grabe yung kampanya namin, tapos yun lang mangyayari. Hindi natin mga kampanya. Hindi na. Gawin na lang natin, maghintay na lang tayo kasi ang bilis. Pag manalo ka, ang bilis. Pag matalo ka naman, ang bilis.
Una-una, we did not even garner a single percent. Wala, ni isa. Ni isa kaming naging lumitaw na lumamang ang aming kandidato. So that is highly improbable.
But COMELEC Chairman George Garcia warns the candidates questioning poll results is not an easy process.
Madami naman pong pagkakataon na kakayanin na mabilisan. Minsan po kasi depende yun sa nagpoprotesta. Kung talagang ang lamang sa'yo ko, konti, pinrotesta mo yung buong syudad. Talaga pong matagal yun. May strategy po dyan. Ibig sabihin, dapat kung ano lang yung mga lugar na sa palagay mo ay makakakuha ka ng dagdag na boto, doon nyo lang ipapail mo na protesta. Bakit mo lalahatin? Pag nilahat mo, gustong-gusto yun ng protesti yun.
From waiting tables to building a food empire, a next-gen power duo shares how they have been taking risks and turning their family legacy into a multi-billion peso business. Ferdy Salvador has the story.
Behind the success of Foodie Global Concepts, which operates more than 300 food establishments across the country, is the D family, led by their patriarch Enrico Ricky D. Trade Talks, the high life of the Bilyonaryo news channels, recently spoke with two members of the next generation of the D family, siblings Erica and Eric D. Eric is the Chief Operating Officer of Foodie Global Concepts. He got his early exposure in the business working as a waiter in the family's restaurant. His sister, Erica D, is the company's COO. She also handles operations of Yao Yao, a popular frozen yogurt chain.
Everyone, I think, was prepared to kind of take over the family business as well. So even as I was in college, I was opening my own shop in Ateneo. So I ran my own restaurant as well in Ateneo.
Really?
Yeah, while I
you were a working student basically.
Yeah. So my parents stopped giving me allowances because they knew I was making so much money in my restaurant.
I grew up in the industry, so I always tell the story that I literally grew up in a restaurant. So my parents were...
You did?
My parents were, I think, 19 when I was born. So
yes.
When they started that business, I was already exposed to the restaurants. For me, it felt natural.
Yes.
Even through college, I was working as a waiter in the US. And it felt very good, right? I felt at home whenever I was at a restaurant. I ended up handling a hotel in Kuala Lumpur as well, so still back into F&B. And it felt very natural for me to be in a restaurant. So when I had to take on the role, it felt like it was meant for me.
We asked them how they choose a franchise that they will bring to the Philippines.
It's always a gamble. You cannot really tell what will work and what won't. But you take calculated risks.
Okay.
Right? So
for Yao Yao, how did you make it?
So for Yao Yao, well, it was easy for us to bring it in. Even if we're not into yogurt, we saw the lines, the long lines in Singapore, and you can't question success, right?
Yes.
So as long as the price points are right, and we believed in the taste profile, so we tried it out, and now we're at 100 stores.
Eric adds they put a premium on authenticity and sustainability. If they think a store's menu is not suitable to the Filipino taste and doubt its long-term operations, they will not push through with a franchise. Erica and Eric represent the new generation of leaders in the food and beverage industry, integrating new knowledge they acquired with the business acumen passed on to them by their father. Ferdy Salvador, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Now, our guest this morning is in it to win it at this year's Miss Universe pageant in November. And her name says it all, Manalo. After years of joining and learning from multiple pageants, how has the journey prepared her for this defining moment? Joining us live in the studio is Miss Universe Philippines 2025, Ahtisa Manalo. It's a beautiful day, Ahtisa, and congratulations, Queen!
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Oh my goodness.
Congratulations.
You know, when you walked into the studio earlier, I was like, okay, Jess, wait.
I know, right?
Let me fix my posture. Wait lang.
No slouching.
I felt my height go down.
I know, right?
That's why it's nice sitting down.
Ay, sabi ko when I saw you this morning at the makeup room, I was like, I need to wear heels today. I mean, we're sitting down, but mamaya magpa-picture taking tayo, so kailangan I'm not so small. But anyway, before I ask you what it was like, you know, your winning moment, I wanted to put the spotlight first on that iconic stumble. You know, kasi you stumbled on stage, you fell, but you got back up with so much grace, and you actually used that to, you know, in your question and answer portion, as Jess mentioned a while ago, and you used that and you didn't make that stop you from winning the crown. What did it feel like when you were there, when you were on the floor, and then when you got back up? What was going on in your head at that time?
The entire time I was on stage, I didn't think. I was just feeling everything. I think that's when I stumbled, that's one of the few moments where I had thoughts in my head. And I was like, I just want to get back up. And when I got back up, I was like, maybe if I pretend nothing happened, people won't remember it also. You know what I mean? So I said, I'll just pretend nothing happened. I'll go back to what I practiced. I'll just do my thing.
Okay. Pag nagpe-prepare ka for this particular pageant, do you have parang plan B na just in case, yes, madapa ako, I have this already planned, you know? Just in case madulas ako or magkaroon ako ng wardrobe malfunction. Do you have that plan B already lined up in your parang your plans?
Wala. I don't think in all my years, in my 17 years of doing pageants, I never once prepared for if I'm gonna fall or if I'm gonna slip. Because the thing is, with pageants, you prepare months, sometimes years, for just that certain moment. So you practice for hours, like so much hours, for just a few seconds on stage. So you want it to be perfect. So you don't think, because you know, sometimes when you think of things, you manifest it.
Too much thinking.
That's right.
So you don't want to think of it into existence.
Okay.
So yeah, walang practice na ganon.
Well,
At
now,
least for me.
But now that it happened, magkakaroon ka na ng plan B next time. Do you think that
Feeling ko
is
hindi.
necessary? Just in case, diba? That you're prepared.
Feeling ko hindi, because if it was the thing that sort of made me win, I want maybe just the genuine reaction also.
That's right.
Maybe I think it's the genuineness of the entire thing that made it appeal to people.
Parang everything organic. Diba?
Exactly. And it really is, it really is inspirational because, again, you don't plan those things, and I think it's harder actually to get up and pretend like nothing happened versus like trying not to fall at all. So it made a much bigger impact. When you fell, were you thinking, oh, maybe I could use this for my Q&A later? Or
I didn't, because we don't know what we're gonna be asked. We don't know the topic. We don't know what they're gonna ask us. So when that happened, I actually didn't think of it. After I fell, I didn't even think of it after. I just went on to continue like being present about then the next thing that's gonna happen.
It's hard to imagine the kind of pressure all of you go through. How do you handle that kind of pressure going into this?
I think I got used to it. I've been doing it ever since I was 10 years old.
10 years old.
So parang it's second nature to me already to be in front of people, to be judged by people, to be in the public eye. So
Has this happened before? What happened when you stumbled
No,
in your
this-
previous pageants?
this is the first time I ever tripped or stumbled or anything.
How many pageants na ba have you done?
Maybe around 13.
13.
Yeah, including like Little Miss School.
Oo,
Universes,
yeah. So,
oo.
sanay na sanay ka na.
I think maybe.
but
More than other girls.
Are there still some surprises, you know? Kasi you've seen the evolution of pageants from when you were a little girl until now that, you know, you joined this latest one. You've seen how all the changes, diba?
Yes.
How it has evolved throughout the years. Do you still get surprised by some things?
I do, because even though it's all familiar, it's an ever-changing industry also.
Right.
Like standards change. Like before, when I used to do pageants, there's no social media. You don't have to think
That's
of your
right.
internet
Yes.
presence.
Yes.
Now you gotta curate that also. So there are new things that come up every time.
And how do you think, I think you joined your first national pageant in 2018?
Yes.
Yes. How do you think you've changed or grown as a beauty titleist, as a person, from your first pageant in 2018 to now in 2025, you're Miss Universe?
I was 20 years old when I first joined national pageant. I was the youngest of the winners of the batch. I was with Catriona Gray. She was my batchmate. And I think I'm just much more assured of myself with like the life experiences I've experienced. I think I have got like little nuggets of wisdom that I carry along with me now that makes me feel more assured of myself.
So you got some tidbits, some advice from Catriona.
Yes.
So to help you.
She's always been supportive of my journey.
Okay. You know what? I'm curious kasi I always see memes with you and MJ Lastimosa, 2014 Miss Universe. Bakit nga ba? What is this connection with you and MJ?
I don't know. I don't know what the fascination is. But I love
si MJ.
I love those though. I love being part of memes. Yeah, yan.
Ayan, the dollhouse and si MJ yung doll. Oh yeah, so I was so curious when I was looking at these memes. Anong connection ni?
I think the pageant community really loves MJ.
Okay,
And MJ is one of those girls who's very sport about being made fun of.
Okay, I see.
And you know, not a lot of people are okay being made fun of. And she's one of those girls that yung sumasakay pa rin,
Right,
even
right, right.
niloloko siya. So I think the
But are you
pageant...
friends, you and MJ?
We're friends, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Now, let's talk about your national costume, the Tik-Tik. We can show it on screen. Why did you choose this as your national costume in the pageant?
The theme was mythical creatures of the Philippines.
There you go.
And
That is amazing.
yeah. And I thought that people are used to, you know, me being always looking more fresh, more angelic, more on the mabait side. So I thought that maybe I'd change it this year and bring out like you know,
switch
a
it up.
little bit.
Show your versatility. Crazy. So
A little bit more playful this time, right?
different.
And
Just
that's
something
that's a
different.
tongue, right?
That's the tongue. That's our interpretation of the tongue.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because we don't know how else we can make it pretty. Because it's still a beauty pageant at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's definitely made an impact. Because I don't think I've seen a national costume that's, you know, like more dark, more most dresses and costumes you see are very colorful, very bright. So it
Yes.
definitely stood out that this one was, you know, black and still looks very beautiful. You look very beautiful.
I feel like sa Halloween, maraming gagaya na.
Actually,
And this year, ganyan na magiging Halloween costume ng karamihan ng mga Filipinos this year. But let's talk about your predecessor, Chelsea Manalo, who's also a Manalo, of
Yeah.
course. Have you spoken to Chelsea after you won the pageant?
I did. Actually, immediately after, I was in a room with her with the other Miss Universe queens, and immediately I asked her, what's one tip that you could give me if you could redo your entire reign? And there's one thing that you would tell yourself, what would it be? I asked her. And she said, surround yourself with the right people. She said it's very important that you're surrounded with the right people who have your best interests at mind.
Yes,
Right,
definitely.
right.
Tama.
yeah, because I hear like once you get into the pageant industry or any industry, there are always going to be people who, don't have different values or don't fight for the same things that you do. So it's so important to have that support system. Who was your support system going into the pageant?
Wow, I have a lot of people that rallied behind me. Of course, I have my family and my friends, but I also have a great team of like professionals, my hair, makeup stylist. I have my good friend Ali who supported my entire journey. And this thing wouldn't be possible without all of them. Like I'm the instrument on stage, but this is a team effort. What you see on stage is the culmination of everyone's hard work.
What kind of preparation do you go through with everyone around you? You said you have to surround yourself with the right people and those who really support you.
Yeah.
It's a very competitive space. How do you handle that, or what kind of preparations do you go through?
Everyone goes through, I think, very similar trainings. Like you gotta train your communication, your appearance, the way you stand, the way you talk, the way you sit. Communications passerella, you gotta train those like few seconds you're on stage, you train hours for that. What else? You gotta learn how to do your own hair and makeup because when you compete abroad, you have no team with you. You gotta do it every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't provide. I was thinking maybe like sa mga pageant, they provide like a team per per contestant.
It's
wala.
sariling
So you do
sikap.
it.
So you gotta know how to do
That
it
is
yourself.
amazing though. Kasi when you look at the contestants in a pageant, right, they're fabulous. So most of the time, you're just the one really doing that yourself. Pati the hair. Oh my God.
Every day.
We should learn that.
We should do that this morning. Nahiya na ako.
Our hair. But you know what? I want to go back to talking about your support system. And you mentioned your family. And you grew up in Candelaria, Quezon.
I did,
Yes. How has your early life, shaped your values and your aspirations?
For me, it really, growing up, knowing that I knew from a very young age that we were poor.
Okay.
At 10 years old, the reason why I joined my first pageant was because the grand prize was free tuition fee. And I knew that that could help my family and myself.
Okay.
I also knew that the world I was living in, which is in the province, wasn't the world I want for myself when I grew up. So at a very young age, I think I had the grit from a very young age because I wanted a different life for myself and for my family. Like I would be bantay in our sari-sari store, I would sell textbooks, jolens, gagambas, anything I could get my hands to into making sure that I get savings and earnings, I would do. So I feel like at a very young age, I had the I understand the value of hard work and grit and perseverance. And I carried it all along with me up until I joined 3 times to get the Miss Universe crown. And I don't think I would do that if I didn't grow up the way I grew up.
Right. Do you feel like, kasi your early childhood years, no? This was like a struggle. This was like your first struggle,
Yeah.
diba? Kasi you sabi mo nga, you knew at an early age that you were poor, diba?
Yeah.
And then talagang you strive to get out of that situation. Do you feel that helped you when you stumbled on that stage that day during the pageant?
I think so. I think that is a symbolism.
That was your first stumble, diba?
Yeah. I think it's just a symbolism of who I am when I fell on stage and stood back up and pretended nothing happened, because that's what I'm used to doing my entire life.
And I'm actually quite curious because you mentioned that when you were younger you would sell different stuff too, and I think that ties in with the non-profit that you work with, right? If you could tell us more about that. You help kids with their entrepreneurial advocacies, right?
Yeah, Alon Academy. We basically make sure that the kids don't tap into the things that they are naturally good at. So, because I wasn't good at school when I was at school, in a sense that I'm not good at memorizing things, which is a basic thing in our education system. I'm not good at memorizing things, but I knew that I looked different from everyone else and I could use that to my advantage. And that's what we hope to do in Alon Academy. We want the kids to understand what they're naturally good at or what they're capable of or what they're interested in, and using that to create the lives they want for themselves.
What struck me with what you mentioned a while ago, that you joined your, correct me if I'm wrong, your first pageant because you saw that it would provide free tuition.
Yeah.
So your first pageant was actually not because you wanted to join a pageant but because you wanted to help your family. How did that now, looking back, help you with where you are at right now and your advocacies?
Yeah, I think that me recognizing that thing at 10 years old, I knew that pageant would be my vehicle to change my life. Everyone has a vehicle to change their lives. And that's the thing I'm good at, or that's the thing I was able to hone. So I know that thing helped me because I knew what my strengths were at a young age, and I knew how to use what I have. Because I'm dealt with like not so good cards, but I still played the cards I was dealt with the best way I could.
You are just amazing, hearing you. We learned a lot today, right? So we wish you the best of luck as you face. Is this going to be your biggest pageant ever?
It is.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it would
goodness.
be,
Do you have any expectations?
I knew that I just know that it's gonna be a hard fight.
Okay.
But I'm used to hardship, so
Yes.
I love that.
I mean, you've had struggle since you were a kid, and you just rose up from it. My goodness. And I know that it's your birthday on Sunday.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we have a
It's a beautiful
surprise
day.
here.
It's a beautiful day. The whole team, we prepared something for you, Ahtisa. So, sino ba? Kakanta na
Sino
yung mga
kakanta?
cameraman natin. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
This is so
Happy
cute.
birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Make a wish.
Thank you.
Miss Universe
Yes.
Philippines, Miss Ahtisa, happy birthday.
The future Miss
Yes.
Universe.
Good luck on that journey.
Good luck. Alam mo, good luck, Charmang. It's a beautiful day. When we have girls or pageant contestants joining the show, most of the time, nananalo sila. So we are claiming it.
You're claiming it.
This is
good luck.
What was good is that you
you.
showed resilience, and
Yes.
you showed that even if you stumble, you get up and you can still win.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got
Thank
this in
you.
the bag,
You got
girl.
this. Thank you for
And you gotta
having
eat that
me.
cake.
I will.
Walang
Walang diet muna. It's your
It's birthday,
birthday.
diba? You eat your own birthday
Before
cake.
before we let you go, Ahtisa, because we're running out of time, but before we end the interview, what is your message to your fans who are watching you right now?
As usual, thank you very much. I'm grateful for all of you. I wouldn't be here without you, your love and support. It actually means a lot to me, and you're one of the reasons I keep going in this journey. And I hope you still keep supporting me until we get the crown in Thailand.
Thank you so much
Thank you,
for
and good
joining
luck on
us
your
today.
journey.
And good
Thank
luck.
you.
Claim the win. Claim the win.
When you got this, we're gonna be rooting for you here at
Thank
the
you
studio.
so much.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
Ahtisa
for having
Manalo,
me.
ladies and gentlemen, Miss Universe Philippines 2025. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And up ahead, we go back to the good old days of board games. Know more about the biggest board gaming event in the Philippines after the break. Don't go away. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. The biggest board gaming event in the Philippines is happening in Quezon City this coming May 29 to June 1. And their advocacy? Celebrate Philippine board gaming culture and lessening screen time. Gaming Library CEO Hans Canero Fernandez and QC City Administrator Michael Almurong join us in the studio this morning to tell us about the All A-Board Expo. So it's a beautiful day, Hans and Michael. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you very much. It is a beautiful day.
Yes.
It is, it is. Can you tell us a bit more about the event that's happening on May 21? May 29th to June 1st.
So we're hosting a big board game convention. We want to put things on an international level where we invited different partner publishers from all over the world to come celebrate Philippine board gaming culture. So it's going to happen from May 29 to June 1. We have over 20 brands coming to the Philippines to celebrate their new releases, show it to the Filipino people, and hopefully have fun tournaments at the same time.
I love the title of the event, All A-Board Expo.
Very witty.
Yeah, and we were talking off the air kasi I grew up playing board games. Wag na nating talungin kung anong kami ni Robert, filter out namin yan pag age na pinag-uusapan. But really, I grew up playing board games. Wala pa, hindi pa uso nun yung mga digital...
wala pang cellphones.
Wala pang cellphones. Wala pang digital gaming consoles and everything, right? So, we grew up playing Snakes and Ladders.
Us also.
Oh yeah, diba? Snakes and Ladders.
Scrabble,
There's chess, there's Scrabble. My family is super competitive when it comes to playing Scrabble. Minsan may money involved pa yan.
We're competitive without the money.
There's Monopoly, of course, and then Cluedo, medyo bago-bago na yan right? So, when the young ones hear about board games, and when we talk about these particular board games, diba, hindi na nila alam yan. They have to Google it to find out what it is, diba? So, how do you plan to introduce these board games into yung interest ng younger generation, especially in this event?
Yeah, so I think that's one of the main points, right? The KC government's fully supporting it because we want to get people out of their gadgets.
Yeah.
I mean, the reality is a lot of us now, we just swipe left, swipe right. We're in the same table, we're not talking.
Yeah.
Right? So,
that's a big problem.
we remember the times wherein, I played Boggle with my parents, Scrabble with my parents and siblings. So we're trying to bring all that back. So the 4-day event is trying to do that. And what people don't realize is the board game that we're talking about, it's really a wide range. You have your most basic. You can play Spotted, for example, all the way to your 3-hour-long marathons.
Yes.
Actually, we were speaking about it backstage earlier. So can you tell us what kind of games to expect? So, of course, they're going to be the easier-ish ones or the more popular ones like Snakes and Ladders. Personally, I like Dixit, Lords of Waterdeep. So yung mga medyo deeper strategy level games. So will you have all of those available at the event?
So there will be over 100 new games that are being featured, but you also have the timeless. We call them the timeless games.
The timeless classics.
Yes. So of course, chess is going to be part of it, but also aside from that, we have 2 Lego games that are being featured. Yes.
Okay.
So it's essentially a modern designer board game, but they use Lego parts to.
That is amazing.
And then we have games that range from easy, where it's meant for more younger kids, all the way to more strategy that diverse into different topics like history, business, economics. And you also have others that are based on fantasy, where it's storytelling. Dixit is actually a good example of a storytelling game. So it's very welcoming to everyone. One of our key features is we have an adventure guide where we have a track that guides you from being a stage 1 board gamer to a heavy expert at stage 5. And so you can progress through the convention and level up your board game experience.
Okay, and I think a common misconception because of board games is that it's only for younger kids or maybe with parents, or parents play because they want to play with their kids. But I think that's a common misconception, no? So I'm assuming everyone of all ages is going to have fun at this convention. There's going to be something for them.
Yes. So most of our games, there's curated based on whether you want to play together as a family or,
that's nice.
If maybe for others, they want to play together as a group of friends.
Right.
A lot of our games, actually, one of my passions is to be able to bring 3 generations of people into a table. So you have the grandparents all the way to the grandchildren. Because we have games that can cross through generations at that point. Most of the games that we will have are very strategic but very easy to learn. Actually, one of the key games is called Ticket to Ride, where you're just building train networks throughout different maps. But the only way to play it is you just collect cards of the same color. So it's something as easy that a younger children can play, but also even up to the level of grandparents, that they would be able to find it easy enough to be able to interact on the table.
And one of the things that's surprising with a lot of games that people don't realize is the games are actually very educational. So like Tickerad's a good example. There's a game that we use, it's called Pandemic, and when we played the game, it felt like you were managing the pandemic. So like, oh, we've been there. But a lot of the games are like this, right? And then when we're trying to introduce people to environment, we use games like Cascadia or Harmonies, wherein it's really about your animals in a certain environment, and the game makes sense. You're like, oh, that's right, this animal lives in an environment like this. So the games are like that, and so we use a lot of them to educate. And I believe there's also Ateneos using the games for 2 leadership training sessions during the convention as well.
Well, it's very good when you try to mix gaming with education. I remember growing up playing Trivial Pursuit.
Right.
So it's exciting, but it's also educational because you learn a lot of stuff. But it has evolved. You have different kinds of Trivial Pursuit. Some focus on, let's say, Star Wars or things like, you know. So how do you actually try to get everybody together in this expo? Where exactly is it going to be, and how big is that area?
So recently, of course, Quezon City opened up the MyC Center. It's at City Hall. So it's a big venue, and because we're also, we share the same mission, we're very passionate about it. We've brought everybody there over 4 days. We said, we'll work with you if you're willing to, we put the skin in the game. Both of us believe in the whole thing. And so we say, hey, let's do this together. We'll provide the venue, we'll provide the support, the manpower. You've got all the games, so we've reached a lot of people right now. Where we're expecting, registrations alone are at 5,000 people already.
Wow!
And, not Filipinos, they don't like all to register last minute. So the actual number.
Is this a free event or?
Yeah, so that's the beauty of it, right? Because when you work with government institutions like ours, our mission is really to promote, to help provide the citizens with something interesting to do in Quezon City. So therefore, for Q citizens, it's actually free. For kids 12 and below, regardless of where you are, it's also free.
So it's bring the whole family.
Yeah, and if you're not a Q citizen, we made sure that it's only 50 pesos a day. But the nice thing, it's 50 pesos a day, you can play for free. Including if you don't have your own game, you can play the games that the publishers are bringing, or you can borrow from the open library, and you just get the game and sit there. If you don't want to do that, you look for somebody playing and you ask if you can join. And that's what it is.
I'm so proud of Quezon City because I'm from Quezon City.
Oh, thank you.
And I really love all the activities that, the Quezon City government has been coming up. Like, for example, yung car-free Sundays in Tomas Morato. And then it encourages families to go there and just, hang out. So I love it that you guys are doing this. And now that we have this board game, All A-Board Expo, diba? It's also a good chance for the entire family to join and finally ditch their phones, even for just a day.
When they go in, do have to
surrender your phone. We don't want to be responsible for the loss. But we do encourage. I think you'll find that really when you come in, you'll probably want to ditch your phone yourself. And people get engrossed. The kids will have fun, and then the hardcore ones, well, they can sit for 3 hours without talking to. It's like, not talk to the people outside, only us. It's possible.
Are there going to be board game experts joining this event?
Yes, so actually this is a very community-driven event. We have over 100 volunteers that are coming, and most of them have played tons and tons of board games. I think what's really nice about board gaming in its nature is it's very welcoming. That our goal is to be able to create a safe and learning environment that's fun. And so we have a lot of people that have volunteered their time throughout the 4 days to be able to teach the games in a very safe environment. So when you go there, you don't need any preparations. You don't even need to read any rules. They'll be the ones to actually take you through the steps of playing the games.
And one of the nice things as mentioned earlier, it's okay to lose in this environment, right? In fact, it trains especially kids. When they lose, they feel bad. In this case, you go to the next game. We can do round 2. right? So it's okay to experiment as you play because you'll be trying different things and that didn't work. And if you win, you feel good. If you lose, it's okay. It's not like your grades are going to be in trouble. Right? And so that's part of what we're trying to promote. Go play and win, lose.
Actually, what I like about it is if you're bringing the whole family together. A lot of the problems that we're facing today on the dinner table, everybody's like...
They're not communicating.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, they're
Talks
not.
anymore.
Yeah, and that's the thing. With some of the games, you can't not communicate.
Exactly.
And if you play like Catan, you have to trade. And some people get really good at trading. I owe you this, I owe you that, or you give me now, I'll give you later. If I follow up to it.
A lot of these games are very strategy focused, right? So you have to communicate, like you have to even lie. Not really lie, like what's the term? Not lie.
Plan
Deceive. Strategize. Strategize, basically.
I remember there's a game called Stratego.
Yeah, so that would fall in something like this.
Yes.
So even
Older
if the
games.
kids have no idea how to play board games, they can all just
Yeah,
join.
we actually want
Okay.
them to because this is a way to introduce them to the games
To different
and also
kinds
to
of
learn.
board games. Yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of us learn in a different environment. Some are good in the academic setting and learn that way. Some people learn by playing. That's why we love Lego also because in fact that's the whole objective, right? You learn by playing. Some people believe that for some that's the better way.
Exactly.
Do you see this expo not just annually, but let's say, could you do it monthly or something like that?
That is very hard. We would love to, but definitely annually we're committed to doing this annually.
Right.
Quezon City, one of the things that we talk about is we'd love to be littered with beaches. No, we are not. We don't have that. So one of the conversations is in promoting tourism, we want to make sure that Quezon City events are, if they can be the biggest, the best, that we would try to do it that way. Because that's when you're in the largest city, you have to promote it that way, right? So in this case, it's the largest board game convention. I believe in Southeast Asia already.
Yeah.
Wow.
The goal is, I don't know if we can reach to Japan. Japan's numbers were like 26,000.
26,000.
Well, I mean, kung
Wow,
ngayon
wow.
pa lang, 5,000 na yung nag-register.
Yeah.
What's the
5,000
maximum
registrants.
capacity that the location
Well,
can-
it depends on how long they sit down and play. But everybody is invited to come, and even if you don't play, you just want to watch people play, that's also okay, because you might want to watch, say, hey, this is an interesting game.
Right.
Pick a copy and take it home and enjoy time with your friends and family.
Yeah, before we let you go, invite our viewers, please,
Yes.
to join All A-Board Expo.
Of course, so we want to invite everybody to All A-Board Expo. It's on May 29 to June 1. From 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. You do want to come at 10 a.m. And of course, it's open to all. It's free for Q citizens, for kids 12 and below. Very low, 50 pesos for those who are not from Quezon City. And of course, you don't have to come with any game. The games will be available. You can learn and have fun with your friends and family.
All right. Thank you so much to our, again, Gaming Library CEO Hans Kenner Fernandez and QC Administrator Michael Almorong.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we've got more stories for you after the break. Don't go away. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You're still watching. It's a beautiful day. So, what's the weather going to be like this Friday? Anne has today's forecast from Weather HQ. Take it away, Anne.
All right, thank you so much, Jess. We got 3 weather systems currently affecting the country. The Intertropical Convergence Zone, or ITCZ, is influencing Mindanao. bringing cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms. Residents are advised to stay alert for possible flash floods or landslides during severe thunderstorms. Now, over extreme northern Luzon, a ridge of high pressure area, or HPA, an elongated zone of high atmospheric pressure, is prevailing. This system is expected to bring generally fair, dry, and stable weather across the region. Meanwhile, easterlies or warm winds coming from the Pacific Ocean are affecting Metro Manila and the rest of the country. These will bring partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon or evening. Now, the ridge of HPA and easterly winds will continue to fan the flames of scorching conditions across the country, pushing heat index levels into extreme danger zones. Let's now turn to Pag-asa's most recent heat index forecast. Apari, Cagayan remains under a searing heat index of 46 degrees Celsius, the highest in the country. Trailing closely is Dagupan, Pangasinan, expected to hit a sweltering 45 degrees Celsius. Temperatures are expected to surge to 44 degrees Celsius in these areas: Lawag, Ilocos Norte, Batac, Ilocos Norte, Tuguegarao, Cagayan, and Subic Bay, Olongapo. Meanwhile, other locations bracing for dangerously high 43 degrees Celsius include these places: Batac, Ilocos Norte, Bacnotan, La Union, Etxague, Isabela, Baler, Aurora, Casiguran, Aurora, Camiling, Tarlac, and Sangli Point in Cavite. Several more locations are also expected to see heat index levels peak at 43 degrees Celsius, including these areas: Tanawan, Batangas, Infanta, Quezon, Alabat, Quezon, Daet, Camarines Norte, Masbate City, and Catarman, Northern Samar. These areas are set to reach a heat index of 42 degrees Celsius. Pasay City, Metro Manila, Sinait, Ilocos Sur, Bayombong, Nueva Vizcaya, Iba, Zambales, Los Baños, Laguna, and San Jose Occidental, Mindoro. And joining the 42 degrees Celsius group are these areas: Cuyo, Palawan, Legazpi, Albay, Pili, Camarines Sur, Iloilo City, Dumangas, Iloilo, and Catbalogan, Western Samar. This escalating heat poses serious health risks, including heat exhaustion and stroke. So keep yourselves hydrated and keep safe. Now let's check on the conditions over our coastal waters. According to Pag-asa, there are currently no gale warnings in effect. Seas are generally calm with light winds and gentle waves. Still, a reminder to our fisherfolk and seafarers: always monitor the latest weather bulletins before venturing out. Safety first at sea. And that's it for Weather HQ at the moment. Back to you, Robert.
Thanks, Anne, for that weather update. Meanwhile, the Justice Department has dismissed the cases filed by former President Rodrigo Duterte against top officials in connection with the serving of the arrest warrant against Pastor Apollo Kibuloy at the KOJC Central Compound in Davao City. In a resolution, the DOJ said it found no probable cause to pursue charges of malicious mischief and violation of domicile against PNP Chief Romel Marbil and former Interior Secretary Benhur Avalos. In dismissing the charges, the prosecutor cited insufficient evidence to charge the said officials, who were not even present on the site during the operation. It added that there was no violation of domicile since police had court-issued warrants.
Of course, the recent one was in Davao kay Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. No? Medyo mahirap din yun dahil may warrant siya. We should implement the warrant. No? So when we implement, what if hindi namin nahuli? Kung hindi namin nakita, demandado kami lahat.
To recall, former President Duterte filed the complaint in September in his capacity as KOJC administrator. This following the arrest of Kibuloy in August 2024 on charges of human trafficking and child and sexual abuse.
The Department of Transportation and LTO continue to overhaul outdated systems and infrastructure to improve road safety in the country. Part of their efforts is a crackdown on fixers, streamlining of licensing processes, and the suspension of driving schools that do not follow LTO regulations.
we have already suspended, sir, around 107 driving schools. Just in the last 2 weeks, nakahuli na ang audit trail po namin yan in various regions nationwide. There are reforms in place that soon we will announce, no, na talagang gumaganda na po ang ating servisyo. Yung mga pagkakamali, yung kulang ng nakaraan, tinatakpan po natin yan, dinalagay natin sa ayos.
Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon warns that his department will not stop punishing those who abuse the transportation systems of the country.
Seryoso kami dito. Baka iniisip ng iba yung mga ginagawang mga suspension ng lisensya, show cause order, revocation, ngayon lang yan. Hindi. Habang nandito kami sa pwestong to, ang kabilin-bilin ng Pangulo, go after all of them.
The Anti-Red Tape Authority, or ARTA, announced the launch of the Philippine Ease of Doing Business Reform Guidebook, a blueprint to heighten the country's competitiveness in the international business scene. From 2025 to 2028, the ARTA aims to address medium-term reforms, particularly the digitalization of government requirements for business registration and renewal. Aside from the entry of a private firm in the market, the Reform Guidebook pinpoints international trade, taxation, dispute resolution, business insolvency, and market competition as themes that affect the economy.
A Filipino green card holder awaits his deportation hearing, along with other migrants caught in the sweeping immigration crackdown of Trump 2.0. Reports say 42-year-old Max Londoño is currently detained at Northwest Detention Center in Washington. Londoño came back to the U.S. from a vacation in the Philippines when tackled by the Customs and Border Protection of Seattle-Tacoma Airport. Londoño moved to the U.S. at the age of 12 and had nonviolent offenses in his youth. Tanggol Migrante Network says since February, he is the second Filipino green card holder to have been detained. Various migrant groups have organized protests to call on the Philippine Embassy and Consulate to act on the matter.
In world news, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu condemns the killing of 2 Israel embassy staffers by a lone gunman in Washington, D.C. The Israeli staff...
Last night in Washington, something horrific happened. A brutal terrorist shot in cold blood a young, beautiful couple, Yaron Lishinsky and Sarah Milgram. Yaron had just bought an engagement ring for Sarah. He was planning to give it to her in Jerusalem next week. They were planning to start a new and happy life together. Well, that tragically did not happen. Yaron and Sarah weren't the victims of a random crime. The terrorist who cruelly gunned them down did so for one reason and one reason alone. He wanted to kill Jews. And as he was taken away, he chanted, "Free Palestine." This is exactly the same chant we heard on October 7th.
The Israeli staffers were killed while leaving an event outside the Capital Jewish Museum on Wednesday night. Officials say the suspect chanted "Free Palestine" after he was taken into custody. Israel faces sustained international condemnation for its escalating Gaza military offensive. U.S. President Donald Trump's administration has revoked Harvard University's ability to enroll international students. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem ordered the department to terminate Harvard's Student Exchange Visitor Program certification. This means the university can no longer enroll international students, and existing foreign students must transfer or lose their legal status. And later on the show, we find out how Ilocos Norte is expanding its clustered farming program by focusing on a delicious summer treat, watermelons. That conversation on Weather HQ is next. Don't go away. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. This is Weather HQ. As part of its continuing effort to boost agriculture and improve the livelihood of small farmers, the provincial government of Ilocos Norte is expanding its clustered farming program, this time focusing on high-value crops like watermelon. After a remarkable harvest that yielded a net profit of 9 million pesos from just 50 hectares, more farmers are now being encouraged to shift from traditional rice and corn to more profitable options. And to tell us more about this initiative and what farmers can look forward to, we are joined by Engineer Maria Teresa Bacnat, Officer in Charge of the Provincial Agriculture Office of Ilocos Norte. Good morning, Engineer Bacnat. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning to sir, and thank you very much for this opportunity to be here in your news channel.
Okay. So, Engineer, what led to the expansion of the watermelon clustered farming program in Ilocos Norte?
Yes, sir. 3 years from now, we are already having a project on clustered farming focusing on high-value crops. So this year, our farmers from Barangay Casilian, Bacara have invested in watermelon, and then we want really to invest in watermelon because we know that watermelon is a cash crop commodity. In short span of 50 to 60 days, our farmers can already harvest a watermelon. So, mabilis po yung return of investment dito sa crop na ito po, sir.
Na-mention mo nga, Engineer, yung Bacara, they had a recent success. No? They yielded a 9 million peso net profit over 2 months. And we were curious off the air, bakit nga ba watermelon ang napili? And why is this a good fit for Ilocos Norte?
Yes po, ma'am. Actually po, ma'am, yung farmers natin sa Barangay Casilian, Bacara ay talagang tatanim na po ng watermelon. But it's really this time na talagang yung provincial government ay nagbigay po ng malaking intervention po sa ating mga farmers. And then we are really glad na yung outcome po ng intervention ng provincial government ay talagang impacted the lives of our watermelon farmers in Bacara. That's why, ma'am, we have planned to expand the watermelon in other towns in Ilocos Norte because yung mga other towns po kasi, ma'am, ay may mga farmers din tayong nagtatanim ng watermelon. So we really encourage them to venture into shifting into high-value crops just like watermelon po.
Engineer, how are farmers encouraged or paano ba sila pinipilit to join the program?
Yes po, ma'am. In Ilocos Norte po kasi, ma'am, meron na po tayong tinatawag na yung mga organized farmers, cooperatives, association. So, yung mga association po natin ay may mga identified crops na po kasi sila na itinatanim, such as onion, meron po garlic, watermelon, mango. So, doon po tayo nagbe-base kung saan po talaga sila yung kanilang itinatanim na doon tayo po nagbe-base kung ano po yung talaga yung ibibigay natin po sa kanila na crops na itatanim po.
And I'm curious, Engineer, so what made the initial 50-hectare project in Bacara so successful?
Yes po. The president of the association po in Bacara came to our office and asked for the assistance from the provincial governments, such as yung mga agricultural inputs, such as watermelon seeds, fertilizers, mulch, plastic mulch, and others. Because we have known, ma'am, na itong mga agricultural inputs na ito ay medyo mahal po kasi. So, they want that the provincial government will provide assistance for them para pumalesen yung production cost po ng ating mga farmers doon.
Engineer, now how crucial was the role of farmer groups like the Zanjera Casilian Irrigators Association to this project?
Yes po, the role of our farmers group is very crucial po in making the lives of our farmers more fruitful or more economic. Because po sir, our farmers po, just like yung mga organized na po ay mas madali po kasi silang turuan. Example po yung mga package of technologies, mas mabilis po kasi ma-impart po yung mga advanced technologies pag yung mga recipient po natin ay organized na. And then, yun pong mga farmers cooperatives po natin sir ay we choose them to give intervention, especially when it comes to market, because pag consolidated na po kasi yung recipient po natin, mas madali pong i-market yung kanilang product. So, hindi na po natin kailangang i-consolidate because in the first place, they have already a consolidated group and organized.
Engineer, I know that you mentioned that you are planning to expand the project to other municipalities. Ano yung mga key lessons from the pilot that are being applied to this expansion?
Yes po. Having been, yung napatunayan po natin na yung impact po dito sa Barangay Casilian ay napakalaki po. So, we are extending, yun po yung magiging basis po namin man to extend this watermelon production, because sabi ko nga po kanina, within a short period of time, yung ating mga farmers ay magha-harvest na po sila with that very high profit. So we are extending po itong clustered farming na we have experienced in Barangay Bacara to other towns in Ilocos Norte para po ma-experience din ng ating mga farmers yung mga benefit na naidulot po ng clustered farming na ito in Barangay Casilian, Bacara.
And with this expansion, Engineer, beyond local markets, meron ba kayong plans to tap into national or international markets for the Ilocos Norte watermelon produce?
Since we have a lot of buyers as of now for watermelon, so maybe we'll only consider national po muna, ma'am, since ganda po kasi ang market po ng watermelon. So, from the experience in Bacara po, when we monitor the harvesting, we saw a lot of buyers na po in the area. So maybe hanggang sa national muna po, ma'am. Kasi maganda po talaga yung market ng watermelon.
Engineer, looking at the success of this project, and it was mentioned that there was a 9 million peso profit from this. Now, from that 9 million pesos na profit, how much goes back to the farmers?
Yes po sir, based po sa with our computation on the return of investment, the return of investment per hectare of watermelon is 180%, which means they have invested 100,000 as production cost in per hectare, and they gained 180,000 pesos per hectare net profit. So yun po sir, maganda po talaga yung return of investment per hectare ng watermelon.
All right, and Engineer Bacnat, so what kind of support will the farmers receive in this next phase? So will there be any new forms of assistance provided to them?
Yes, with that 50 hectares planted with watermelon, a total of 1.6 million worth of agricultural inputs were given to them, such as hybrid watermelon seeds, foliar fertilizers, inorganic fertilizers, plastic mulch, and the other. And those investment po ma'am ay hindi po nasayang kasi nga po ang laki po ng return of investment po sa kanila ng watermelon clustered farming po na ito.
Engineer, napakaganda nitong project na ito, natutulungan talaga ang ating mga local farmers. Before we let you go, what are the long-term goals of this program for farmer income and food security?
Yes po. Aside from expanding po yung watermelon as high value crops, we are also looking into other high value crops po na magbibigay po ng talagang promising profits sa ating mga farmers. So while we have a plan for expanding more or shifting to high value crops other than the traditional crops that will give our farmers promising profit. So we also support them not only in agricultural inputs, which is short-term in nature, but we are also planning to give them irrigation support, which we perceive that irrigation will play a vital role in the production of all crops in our province. So ito po kasing irrigation facilities po dito ay very crucial po. And then when it comes to yung long-term, ito po kasi ay long-term intervention or have a long-term impact po sa ating mga farmers.
And with that, congratulations on the success, ma'am. And thank you very much for joining us this morning. That was Engineer Maria Teresa Bacnat, OIC of the Provincial Agriculture Office of Ilocos Norte.
So thank you very much din po, sir.
Now, eto na! Is today going to be your lucky day or not? Let's go find out from Feng Shui Master Hans Kua in our horoscope of the day. Take it away, Master Hans.
Good morning! It's a beautiful day with me, Master Hans Kua. Ito po ang horoscope for Friday, May 23. Para sa Year of the Rat, huwag hayaan lumipas ang isang buwan na walang naiipon kahit konti. Deal at 2. Punta naman tayo kay Year of the Ox. Huwag kalimutan ang iyong dental health. Pain at 1. Sa Year of the Tiger naman tayo, mag-gadget free bago matulog para sa mas mahinding na pahinga. Purple at 5. Kay Year of the Rabbit naman tayo, iwasan ang office politics. Mag-focus ka lang sa trabaho mo. Red at 9. Ito naman sa mga Year of the Dragon, mag-ipon para sa travel at new experiences. Pink at 6. Sa Year of the Snake naman tayo, live within your means. Green at 8. Ito naman, Year of the Horsey. Huwag kalimutan ang regular na check-up para healthy ka. Peach at 7. Punta naman tayo kay Year of the Sheep. Maging conscious sa iyong diet. Umiwas sa sobrang matatamis at maalat. Maroon at 5. Kay Year of the Monkey naman tayo, maging creative sa diskarte para mapabilis ang trabaho. Azure at 2. Kay Year of the Rooster naman tayo, be honest, huwag matakot, ipahayag ang iniisip. Olive at 9. Kay Year of the Dog naman tayo, mag-invest sa quality item. Purple at 4. At sa Year of the Pig naman tayo, umiwas sa sobrang stress sa trabaho. Alagaan ang kalusugan. Pig at 6. Ako po, si Master Hans Kua. Paalala lang, ito po'y patnubay lamang. Ang tunay na swerte ay nagsisimula sa pagiging totoo. Abangan araw-araw ang horoscope of the day. Dito lang po. So it's a beautiful day!
Thank you so much, Master Hans Kua. Now we got sports news for you guys this morning. The Indiana Pacers with a statement victory to begin the Eastern Conference Finals. The Pacers escaped the New York Knicks in Game 1 in an overtime thriller at Madison Square Garden. Final score, 138 to 135. Tyrese Halliburton silenced the crowd at the Big Apple with his clutch game, finishing with 31 points and 11 assists. Aaron Nesmith had the hot hands, draining 5 triples in the extension period, finishing with 30 points. Game 2 is on Saturday, May 24, still in NYC. Now in tennis, the reigning champions of the French Open are ready for their title defense. Defending Roland Garros queen Iga Swiatek is facing a tough potential semifinal clash against world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka. The Polish star has been struggling lately, but she says she will take things in the Grand Slam event one match at a time.
I'm working hard to be ready and to play as good tennis as possible. For sure, this season has had more like ups and downs than the years before, but yeah, you know, I know my game is there. I just need to figure out how to use it in the most important moments and in the best way during the matches, and that's it. But you know, tennis it's a sometimes complicated sport, but we should make it easy in our heads. So I'll just start step by step.
As for Carlos Alcaraz, the defending French Open champ avoided a loaded top half of the men's draw, but he could face 24-time Grand Slam king Novak Djokovic in the semis. The Spanish sensation says he likes his chances of making it back-to-back title wins in the Grand Slam event.
The confidence is really high right now. Obviously, I've been playing great matches. I've got great wins in this clay season, which gives you a lot of confidence. So I'm excited. Well, I mean, I've said that I have achieved so much in really fast. Sometimes I think that I has been too fast. But it is the pace that I really want to keep going, you know, in my career. Let's see, you know, the difficult things in tennis is just to maintain the good level year after years.
Moving on to news and entertainment. Jin of K-pop sensation BTS brought laughs to The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, even sitting in the host chair for a cheeky takeover. The K-pop star then dished on performing with Coldplay and the upcoming reunion of BTS. Jin called his bandmates his lifesavers, promising to honor them after their military service. Jin also wowed the crowd with a performance of Don't Say You Love Me from his new album Echo. Fans can catch him on his Run Seokjin EP tour, kicking off on June 28th.
I love BTS.
So that's why they're not visible. Some of them
Yes.
are undergoing
Military service. I believe Jungkook is still doing military service. I'm not sure how many members are still doing military service until now, but Jin is out. So
But at a
that's why
certain
he's-
age, I think for Koreans, right?
Yes, yes.
It's mandatory that they go
That's
through
right.
that. And
That's why the group is in hiatus, but their fans are still
The
intact.
army.
You know,
They're everywhere, yes.
I have this friend who's like a huge BTS fan, and she tells me that they keep giving updates to fans. Like they always put out something, like maybe like a new news item or new merch or new music. They just really make sure that the fans get something while the team or while the group is in hiatus. Yeah. So alam mo, hindi pa ako I'm not sure about this, but I feel like wala pang nakakatalo sa laki ng BTS Army.
Are you a BTS fan?
I am
You?
a BTS fan.
No. No?
I don't want to say it because I'm gonna get hate. I'm not gonna say anything, but I do like some of their songs. Yes, I'm familiar with some of their songs. I'm a Blackpink fan, but
K-pop pa rin, K-pop pa rin.
yeah.
Yes, yes. But before we go, I'd like to say thank you, Jess. Thank you,
Oh,
Robert.
thank you. Thank you for having
joining
us.
me for the past 2 days.
Yes.
Thank you for making it such a fun experience.
Yes.
I hope you guys enjoyed kahit
Of
pinagising
course.
kayo ng 4 a.m.
Yeah. I like the vibe. I like the morning vibe here.
So next time, I already know who to call. Pag iniwanan ulit ako ng mga partners ko, but Paulo Del Rosario will be joining us on Monday. So kung meron kayong mga violent reactions dahil nag-absent siya bigla-bigla, send it to his Instagram at Paulo Del Rosario. And that is it for us this Friday, May 23rd. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Make the rest of your day and this weekend unforgettable by choosing joy, spreading kindness and love, and packing your own sunshine.
And on behalf of Paulo Del Rosario, I'm Robert Tan. Thank you for joining us.
And I'm Jess Ordoñez in for Monique Tuzon. Have a great weekend ahead. Join us again on Monday at 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. only here on
It's a Beautiful Day!